Alright, man. So it's time for the Atlanta Viking bug out exercise again. Now, this is the second time we've shot this video. We don't normally reshoot videos. We normally just go with what we have. But it was 20 minutes long and I left stuff out. So I'm going to try to go again. I'm going to try to go fast. I'm going to try not to waste your time. I'm going to try not to leave anything out. The Atlanta Viking bug out exercise. This is our cold weather bug out exercise. This is our second one. We're calling it annual now since it's the second one. The idea is we're supposed to go out in bad weather, or our version of bad weather. This is Northeast Georgia. We've got two Adams, one in Maine and one in Alaska, and they probably laugh at me when I say cold weather bug out because they might have days in July that are, as poor Mariah had to shoot this one, sorry, she's already heard these jokes. But they've probably had days in the summer that are as cold as we're going to have this weekend. I think the low is 33. It's supposed to rain tomorrow and highs in the mid-50s. So it's not really bad weather bug out. It's more like pleasant weather bug out. She heard that one already too. I'm sorry. Okay, so here we go. What do we do now? I did a video on this last year. I will try to link it at the end of this video, but I may not get to. So, but I did this exact video a year ago, so you can go back and compare if you want. So last year I did. The idea is everything you're going to need to sleep with the weekend, or to survive for a weekend, you carry on your back. We take a hike, or what we used to call a hump. Last year it was about 2.5 miles in rough terrain, and you're supposed to test your gear. What you think, we all have our theories what we think is going to happen, but very few of us have ever used it. I'm talking really fast, so I'm sorry. I don't want this to be 20 minutes again. So the idea is what you think you're going to take on a bug out, you bring this weekend. We're going to, I haven't heard for sure if we're going to have a hike this year, but I imagine we will. And you're supposed to carry that on a hike and then only live out of what you carry. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. It's not a requirement, but that's the opportunity we're trying to give men this weekend. So last year I carried a lot of weight. I brought my LBV with a full combat load of ammunition and a bunch of other stuff. And this year I'm scaling way back on the weight. I'm not in the shape I probably need to be, so I'm not bringing the ammunition this year, and I'm simplifying in a few other areas. So I dropped the LBV entirely. Now, for those of you who don't know, LBV means load bearing vest. So I got my mountain ruck with just my basic styrofoam sleeping mat. I've got a nice blow up one, but I don't have a way to really blow it up. Burden sent it to me, so I'm not going to use that this time until I come up with a really way to blow it up. So I took all the canteens off the LBV, and I've got a gallon of water. That's only, well, that's 8. You think about it, that's over 8 pounds, but it's not all the water you need for a day in this kind of environment. You need far more than a gallon. I was in desert in the States one time, and I drank 5 gallons of water in a day once by myself. So a gallon isn't enough, but that's what I'm going to take with. And I've got this is what I got the most guff for the last time. I've got my cast iron pot, and my plan is to boil water out of a stream to replenish my water supply. I did this last year and it worked. This is heavy, but remember, you're supposed to take what you have, not dream about what you wish you'd have when the time comes. So this is what I have, so this is what I'm taking. And I don't know, some guys have the life straws and all that. I don't know how long it takes those to clean a gallon of water, but it doesn't take long to boil. It seems like the pot is like close to a half gallon. I don't remember though. Mariah shaking her head at me.
Yeah, it looks like 2 quarts.
And it takes, maybe 30 minutes to boil over a fire, maybe not even 30 minutes. So in less than an hour, I can have a gallon of clean water. And I also cook with this normally. This last year, I made beef jerky here myself. Myself? Puberty sucks. And then I took beans and peas that we'd grown here and dried, and then mixed in some rice, and I cooked. I was planning to do that again this year, but I just ran out of time. So I'm cheesing it. We're taking commercial beef jerky, really good beef jerky, and some trail mix. So that's actually probably some saved weight over the dried rice and beans. And I can't remember how many pounds. I think it was like 2 pounds of dried rice and beans. And that's like, maybe 2 days worth of rations. You think about that. If you're really bugging out and carrying your food, that's a stupid amount of weight. If you think about, you're going to be gone for, let's say 2 weeks. 2 weeks worth of food. Is it a pound a day? I can't remember. A pound a day might not be enough, but a pound a day may be. So let's just say a pound a day, just for sheer argument's sake. That's 15 pounds of only food if you're going to be gone for 2 weeks. But we're only taking about a day and a half, 2 days worth of food. What else? So we got poncho. Well, let's do this. I'm taking a little bit of reading material just in case. I've got the 3rd book of the Stonemont series. Stephen Smith sent it to us. We're very, very grateful for that. That was about 6 months ago, and I haven't done this video yet. Mariah read the book. My father-in-law read the book. Now I'm reading it, and we're going to have a video on this real quick. Hopefully I'm going to finish it this weekend. So Mr. Smith, if you're watching this, thank you. We are not going to forget you. And this is my personal copy that he even inscribed for me. Anyway. Oh, and we've got some comm gear that the group likes to use, and I haven't learned how to use it yet, so I've got my user's manual, and I'm going to learn how to use my comm this weekend. Okay, what else? 550 cords, always useful. Poncho. It's supposed to rain tomorrow and tomorrow night. Now I haven't got my sleeping bag yet. I got to go borrow a sleeping bag. Don't make fun of me. There's a sleeping bag I want. It's the military sleep system. I'm just not going to buy anything else till I get that one. I borrow a sleeping bag when I need one, but until I get the one I want. But we do have the Gore-Tex Bivy cover, which is kind of the heart and soul of that whole system. I don't take a tent, because we got that Bivy cover, and that was given to us by, I'm not use his real name, but we appreciate the guy who gave it to us. He knows who he is. If you have that thing, you don't need a tent. We tell Marine gun. You'd think I'd spent 20 years in as much as I talked about it. But we put a guy in one time and threw him in the shower, one of those Bivy covers. He was okay with it. It was his idea, I think. But he didn't get wet in that shower in that Bivy cover. So I got the Bivy cover. We got the poncho just in case we want to set up a little bit of shelter, or if it's raining really bad and I just don't want to get soaking wet. These don't really keep you that dry, though. I'll tell you another stupid story. I shouldn't. You gotta be real careful about these when you go pee. We'll leave it at that. You learn a lot of things in boot camp. Those of you guys who've used these before probably know what I'm talking about. We've got some comfort items, gloves, even though it's probably not cold enough for it. Toothbrush and toothpaste. What else? A gallon of water. Got our E-tool, our entrenching tool, because I am convinced that a shovel is the most important piece of survival gear, most important tool you have. If you read stories or read the histories about when people used to actually live this way, the biggest killer was dysentery and disease and diphtheria. There's another one that's spread by bad sanitation. These are the biggest killers, and being able to bury your waste is one of the best things you can do to help save your life and the lives of those around you, because I can get off on a tangent here, but it's really, really important. So I've got the E-tool. I will always have the E-tool. That will be the last thing I drop. I would drop the tomahawk before I drop the E-tool. I've got that. Speaking of the tomahawks, and by the way, the tomahawks feature heavily in our main goal for this trip. The last 2 trips I've gone on, I've managed to hurt myself with a tomahawk both times. So our main goal for this trip is no tomahawk injuries. Normally, I carry the big one, the Rifleman, this really nice carrier that was made for me. I'm cutting down on weight, and it's only a 2-week trip. 2-day trip. So the little one's all I'm going to need. I'm just going to carry the little one, and instead of that really nice holder, I've got a little redneck one that I made myself. For now, usually I put that on my web belt, but for now it'll be right there. All right, what else? We got some clothes. 3 pairs of socks, 3 pairs of underwear. No, 2 pairs of socks, 2 pairs of underwear, 2 t-shirts, and 1 outer shirt. That should be all I need. I may drop a spare pair of pants in here just in case, but I doubt it. What do we got? What am I missing? We've got the sacramental wine for blessing things. Somewhere here we've got a cup for that too, but I don't know what I did with it. All right, we've got the sacramental chalice, just in case we want to bless a lot of things. This was This may have been one of the first gifts Mariah gave me when we got married. I don't remember. We had gone camping. It was one of our early experiences together. And she bought me a flask for Christmas one year. I have my Marine Corps binky. This is the poncho liner. Anyone who's ever served will probably tell you that this is the most important piece of gear, other than possibly a rifle, that's ever been issued in the history of the United States military. If you go anywhere, any deployment, any field op, you will see hardened killers curled up with their binky all over the place. You'll walk into some area and there'll be 100 of these trained hardened killers curled up with their poncho liner. So I call it the Marine Corps binky. And I'm the same way. I won't go without it. It's just convenient. It's useful. You keep it near the top of your pack, and if you're going to get some quick sleep, you can pull it out. You know, it's just a really good piece of gear, and it really ups your sleeping bag if you have this in the sleeping bag with you. Again, there's a reason why I call it the Marine Corps binky, but it's a whole nother extra layer in there. It keeps you really, really warm. It's really convenient. No one goes to the field without their binky. What else? Okay, so we're switching out. We've carried the old regular first aid kit for years. That's what I carried when I was in. I didn't see any reason to switch. It's the basic kit we've all, if you've been in, you've seen it before. It's not a bad kit, but Practitioner Bones got us a really nice IFAK. And I didn't used to think there was a real difference between an IFAK and a first aid kit, but there is. So we'll be taking the IFAK instead of the first aid kit. And I still need a lot more training on this IFAK. It is much better than I am, like most everything I own. And a lot of things I own aren't that very good, so that tells you all you need to know about me, right? Okay, so I have not decided for sure. Well, there's two things I want to talk about. Last year I took a Bible, and I took a big leather, church Bible, because it's important. If you did this for real, especially those of us who are believers, one of the things we might be bugging out from is religious persecution. We can't leave our Bible behind. That really is our first most important thing. I'm not taking one this time. I'm taking my cell phone, which has a Bible on it, but I'm not taking a hard copy Bible. I don't have a tactical Bible, a field expedient Bible. I need one. I haven't come up with a good option for that. I also haven't made up my mind about this. This is a spear point from North Point Axe. I want to make it if I have a knife, this is what I want it to be. I know you don't laugh at me. I like the old stuff, and maybe a spear is taking it too far. But if you're going to carry a knife anyway, why not have one that has an option to be, a spear? And then there's other knives out there that do this that are more knife-like than this one, but this one's handmade by my buddy. And I just really like this one anyway. But I don't have a sheath for it, so I would want this to be in my gear normally. I haven't decided if I'm going to take it yet or not, because I haven't decided how I'm going to carry it. But I'm really excited about this. You're going to see this in some videos. What else? I have not made up my mind. Oh, here's our clothes. I was looking for my clothes. Here's my clothes. Where's the Willie? Oh, we got the Willie Pete bag. Willie Pete stands for waterproof or white phosphorus. So if you're asking for your Willie Pete, make real sure whoever you're talking to knows what you want. And I'm not kidding. I'm not sure why they called, and they might not anymore. This is just your waterproof bag. You'll put your sleeping bag in it. Actually, I used to have two of them. I'd have my sleeping bag in one, and I'd have all my clothes and stuff in another down in there so that they stay dry, because these packs are not waterproof. But I only have one right now, so it's going on my sleeping bag. But it's waterproof, not white phosphorus. And I have not decided so I'm not taking the rifle. I'm debating whether to take the revolver, the Ruger Security 6. It would be at least a little more realistic. I've got a carry license, even as much as I hate them. You have to have them in Georgia. So I'm under protest to have a carry license. So I might take it, or I might, not want to stress out a park ranger. It's hunting season. In theory, you could be hunting with this. I don't think so, but I haven't decided if I'm going to stress them out or anything. I probably will, though. And if I do, I'll take that. And the speed loader. While we were going through all this stuff, I found some Sacramento wine that the Burley Carpenter had left one time when he came over. I guess we were blessing things that I had forgotten all about. and I think it's a really good Scotch, if I remember correctly. I like my sacramental wine to normally be bourbon or rye whiskey. Right now, the one I like the best at the moment is Bulleit. I don't drink much at all. Like occasionally, I'll have a little sip, and so the sacramental wine we're taking out, if you're interested, is Bulleit Bourbon. The rye whiskey was my brothers came for Christmas or Thanksgiving. My brothers came for Thanksgiving, and we like to puff on cigars and sip on whiskey when we're together. So we got these little bottles of Bulleit rye and Bulleit bourbon, and I'm taking what's left of the bourbon with me. Like I said, to bless things, ominous dominus. And that is this. That is the Viking bug out cold weather exercise preparation. I'll try to take some video while I'm out there so I can show you guys what we do. We did this last year, same thing last year. I took some video, and it was one of my favorite videos we have done. Men, this is a really, really, really good weekend. If you are interested in this sort of stuff at all, you should do one of these weekends. And if no one's doing one around you, you should organize it. There are, in the Southeast and the Northwest, there are Viking coordinators who will help you set up these meetings. I can put you in touch with the Southeast coordinator if you want. She puts on really good meetings, and she will walk you through it all and hold your hand while you do it. So if no one's doing one, you do it. This is important stuff. And this is how you form relationships. And you know what? You might not find everyone, not everyone who comes to your meeting might not be someone you want in your mag or your crew. But you've got to cycle through people until you find those you do want. And just because they're not in your mag and your crew, it doesn't mean they can't be in a larger group. A larger group doesn't have to be as tight-knit as that smaller group. And from our Viking meetings, we have seen that develop. Where everyone who comes to this meeting this weekend, and there might be 4 or 5 of us, there might be 12 of us. It's hard to know. The people have started pairing off a little bit, and then there's this umbrella group, and then there's even a larger group above that. And the guy who started it all, I didn't start this, someone else did. He's a good guy, smart guy, but he's not a Superman. He's above average, but he's not, I'm kidding. He's fantastic. But he didn't do anything you couldn't do. So no excuses. If you can't find a meeting to go to, start a meeting. And that's it, man. We appreciate you. Thank you.